Yo, welcome to Hidden Hands. We back like we never left.
But we
Appreciate
left.
y'all. Appreciate y'all joining us today. I got my brother Trav with me. What's
Yo,
up,
yo,
Trav?
yo,
How you
yo,
feeling?
checking in here as always. How you feeling today, Cruz?
Man, we feeling good, man. We feeling
That's
good.
what's up, bro.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. I wanna jump right into it, man, because
Let's dive
I got
in.
something that dive in it. So
Like Trey Songz. Let's
I
do
kind of
it.
like found out this trend, right, as I've been dealing in this business with people, dealing with certain type of people.
Mhm.
And what I noticed, the trend is the people that's most aggressive, that come right at your neck when you're trying to negotiate and handle the music business side. 'Cause This is a business.
Mhm.
The ones that get the most aggressive is the ones that are ignorant to a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? They're ignorant to a lot of the
Yeah.
standards of how this shit go.
Yeah, it'd be like some fresh out of some shit, or they homeboy put them on some shit, or
That type
some
shit.
random shit, or they don't have no real protocol.
Type shit.
And they be tripping, bro.
Type shit.
I can fully agree.
They get very aggressive. It starts to become like now you having an argument about nothing, and it's literally standard business practice. And I think, and this is why I'm so excited to be able to teach with Rock Nation and go over record company operations and go down to the nitty gritty of how this shit really works, bro. Because people need to be educated out here, man. It's no point in a lot of the arguments, a lot of the low vibration, a lot of the bad energy come from people just being ignorant. You know what I mean? And it's cool to not know everything. I don't know everything. I'm still learning myself.
Yeah, I'm still learning every day too, but
This industry changes so rapidly, bro.
yeah.
And it's very important to stay tapped in with people more knowledgeable than yourself. Like my network, I pride myself on being around people that I feel like have an edge on my experience, that are a little bit more seasoned. You know what I'm saying? That could give me some value and help me to continue to grow in what I'm doing. But it just get real frustrating when you're just like, bro, I'm literally negotiating standard business with you, and you getting aggressive with me because of your lack of information and you being ignorant. And it's unfair, man, because it's like things could be so much smoother. We could get a lot of shit done in a faster time. Having people really have a grip on the business.
You know what the funny part about that is?
How the shit really goes.
For me, it's been like that as far as like dealing with business or whatever, but I ain't gonna lie. I could be a little aggressive in certain areas. So sometimes I like match their aggression with aggression in that regards, and that probably ain't good. But
sometimes you
it'd be like that.
Sometimes
but the
you have
part
to.
that be kind of fucking me up with that, like when you was saying like how it's kind of mismatched, is when it's like, it'd be like that for artists with me. Like if it's like an artist who's super talented, they make good music, people love their music, they usually come in the studio humble as fuck. And they usually talk to you a certain type of way and handle things a certain type of way. But then it's like the guys who like, I don't know, they almost feel lucky to be there. They almost feel like they haven't really, they like stumbled upon something with luck or something, like the talent ain't all the way there. They be tripping.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
so I kind of, it's like the
artists.
same thing, but it's like how you were saying with the business. It's like reverse for me, like that with artists.
I feel
It's
you.
just
Yeah,
crazy.
I've had artists, poke their chest out at me and shit. And luckily, the time I had recorded Meek, he would stand up and be like, "Bruh, this ain't no regular engineer. Like this is my guy.
Don't
right
do
here."
it like
you know
that.
what I mean? A couple of times he had to stand up because they be tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
artists be tripping sometimes, but I'm talking more.
Especially the
just
ones who
like,
haven't learned, who, you know what I mean? They
They
don't
just-
really have,
yeah, they just getting in the game.
they don't really have
yeah.
any cachet. They just kind of learn, hey, this is how we treat engineers, or this is how we
Yeah.
treat who we talk to, or this is how I treat managers. And yeah,
Nah.
I see that shit all the time too.
Back to what we were talking about in the previous episode of having the right people on your team. A lot of artists be in the middle of conversations like, bro, why are y'all talking to producers? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are y'all talking to certain people? Like, have people on your team
that
are
could do the
educated, that
talking.
know how to do this shit,
Yeah.
to let you be creative, have a grip on like how the business is supposed to go. Why are you
Yeah, just don't
calling
be
people and
foolish. Don't be
threatening people
foolish, 'cause-
yourself?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But no,
It
if
don't
you
make no
if you
sense.
an artist and you calling and doing all that threatening and stuff, that shit ain't going nowhere either.
It's
You know what I'm
just be
saying?
wild,
It
bro.
don't
I've
be
been
going
around
nowhere.
all-
But I seen it a lot
I've seen
too.
examples of all this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it just be like, bro, why are we having this conversation? There's certain ways that this shit goes that's standard practice.
Yeah.
This shouldn't even be an argument or a conversation. It should be, this is just what it is. And I think, it just go back to what we've been saying. Like, bro, Donald Passman writes a book. He changes it every year.
It's like on like the
almost.
4th or 5th edition, right?
No, he's like on version what 13.
Which book?
14?
You're talking about the. I
All
thought
you need to know about the music business.
My dumb ass. I'm sitting here talking about the mix engineer handbook.
No.
Okay.
Everything you need to know about.
You see
the
where my
business.
head is at.
And that book is controversial, right? Like people think people read that book, skim through it, and grow a brain, but it does give you a fair understanding and an outline of some of the general like best practices in music, right? I do look at it as a great handbook. Ty Basin and his partner wrote a playbook that's super dope on the management level. You know what I'm saying? And they're in the thick of it with working with Brent and all these guys. Yo, Cam got me fucked up.
Yeah, he got you.
I don't want to get caught out here.
Yeah.
But Ty Basin and his partner, wrote a really dope playbook about from their perspective of how they've been dealing in the business, with Brent and all these other guys. And I think it's needless to say, it's so much information out here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's no need for people to be getting on the phone and taking it to the street level vibe. Like, it ain't that deep, bro.
No, it ain't really gonna work either, though. Taking it to the street level ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it works for some people.
Not
but it
saying
ain't gonna work. I just be putting that. No, because I just want to say that for people who be thinking that shit is realistic. It's like I done had people try to like, and then it'd be like, I laugh, and then I tell them what they owe me, and then we figure it out from there. But it's I've never seen. Oh no, I've seen some people get smacked up, but But I haven't seen somebody come in and get business done by being aggressive and threats and stuff like that. I've never seen that. But I have seen some niggas get smacked up before, but it had nothing to do with nothing.
Don't get it fucked up. It's time and place for standing your ground and having to be a little aggressive if you're talking to the ladies.
No, you can't be no bitch
like that. No.
But you should also be. There's a way to not be a punk or a bitch or whatever we want to label it as, without being. You know what I'm saying? Without threatening and being extra and saying some shit that and we finna be looking at each other next week and you ain't do none of that shit you said. So why you even got us feeling like this?
It's really like,
takes it too far.
Yeah, and it's like nothing you said was even valid.
You know what I be thinking though? I be thinking sometimes like the 90s had like this fictional, but some of the stuff was real, but they had like this lure of like the Suge Knights and the hey, if you was a street dude, you handle this by street. And then there's certain like stories we hear of like, oh, Suge Knight made Eazy-E sign a contract by beating him up. You know what I mean? Stuff we see in movies.
Yeah, nah,
I think people can kind of get that mixed with that fictional stuff. But it's not just a different time. Some of it's not true, and some of it's true.
Some of it's true, yeah.
But regardless of what, it's like I think people buy into it, and then they come into the music industry thinking, well, I'm gonna handle it like this, I'm gonna handle it like that. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
That don't make no sense.
See, this
don't go that way.
The thing is like, what I respect about some of the older ways of, and people that came before us, the way they did business, they got shit done and had a right, 9 times out of 10, they had a right to move the way they did and got shit done the way they did. Some shit, obviously, if we were coming up in that time, I'm
gonna say, some niggas could get put in the back of the U-Haul and roll around, get your ass whooped until you decide to figure this out. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's
different stuff,
But it's bottom line is, bro, get educated, bro.
Yeah.
Understand the basics of this shit.
I get your point overall, because I'm over here talking shit. Let me stop. Overall, what you're saying is sometimes the aggression could replace the knowledge. And there could be things that lead them to a certain place where they get aggressive early because they could feel like you're trying to fuck me over, but they don't have the knowledge of what's happening in the game and what this person might be owed and what that person might be getting paid and who might get paid first or who might get paid last. So a person who coming straight off the street might be on some, the fuck? No, we ain't going for this, we ain't going for that. And then handle it a certain way. So I think that's, not to put words in your mouth, but that's kind of where you're saying by ignorance. You know what I'm saying? You're not saying a person is an ignorant person, like they don't know nothing.
Yeah.
But they don't know, they have certain areas that they're blind to, which could cause them to feel a certain type of way. So now they're getting aggressive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it's really like, that's a short a short game. You know what I'm saying? Because there's only a certain amount of time where people are going to even go for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, or even want to do business with you to give you a chance to act a fool like that. You know, I had to deal with some shit recently where it was a person that didn't do half the work that my folks did. They might have got something done, but they didn't do half the work that my folks put in, and was trying to really bully an ignorant percentage. You know what I'm saying? And then act like there wasn't no money attached to it. And well, how the fuck did y'all? I know you probably got some money in your pocket. Like, this ain't how the game goes, Playboy.
Yeah,
like,
I ain't going for it.
So, you know, having to deal with that type of shit, it's like, you know, it's frustrating, man, because it shouldn't be this difficult. Like, the music business, I always say, is like the Wild Wild West. Super. Because there are no unions. We don't have necessarily, you know, support outside of us having our lawyers or having management and things like that. But it's like
in the studying other people's mistakes. That's always been my thing. That's been my, because you know that we call it the Wild Wild West. Then you got to have your revolver on your hip. But my revolver has always been knowing, okay, this person did this person did this. This is what they got, and this is what this person got. This is what they did. So I can figure out something for me in that realm. And it may not. And I never been the type of person to say, hey, this person got this, so I deserve this, or I'm gonna make it this because I seen this person get it. But I've been able to gather that information and then say, okay, now I know how I should be approaching this. So I know if I should get upset about this, or if I know I should handle this more aggressively. You know what I mean? That's, to me, that's typical. Like, that's the only way I learned it.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I've learned a lot from, you know, like I said, people that have come before me that have made mistakes that are like, bro, I know what is attracting you this way. Like, you know, I had a conversation with one of my guys that I'm gonna get on shortly with us that may have taken an approach earlier on to get to a quicker bag, but now realizing, man, I may have sold myself short, you know what I'm saying, and sold too much too early of what my rights were to a particular, you know, catalog or whatever the case, and now having a different approach to like what type of structure they want for their deals. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, my man is like, bruh, I'm going admin over co-pub.
Yeah.
The reasoning behind it of like, you know, like, for example, I have a publishing company, essentially. And if I'm doing a co-pub with another partner, I'm selling them 50% of my ownership of all the shit that I put in to them.
Past works and future works.
Yeah.
Within the deal.
That deal.
Within the deal. Yeah.
Assuming that they're going to bring something to the table that, you know, I haven't already been able to bring myself.
Say if you get in a scenario where they don't bring their 50%, does that sometimes become like, lack of a better word, bullshit?
It's basically like, all right, where people need to be, and this is like an interesting segue, because, you know, when you're thinking about like getting into a particular deal, right, you want to look at what your leverage is, right? Nothing wrong with a co-pub. I've done a few co-pubs with a couple of my guys. Nothing wrong with it. What?
Could you give some of your cons and pros? I'm saying your personally.
Like, so the pros, of course, you're gonna get some money in your pocket, right? You're gonna get a decent amount of money depending on what your catalog is, depending on what your what they call pipeline of, like, whatever records are upcoming, how much you own of those records, what you've done in the past, how much you've made over a certain amount of time, that go into this calculation of how much money they think that you're worth, as opposed to an admin deal where maybe you'll get less money, but you retain your ownership of your records, and you give up a smaller piece of a percentage. So like they might, and what they're doing with admin is they're going and they're chasing down all the money in all these different avenues, right? So they're going and getting you your ASCAP money, your BMI money, your MLC money, your you know, your sound exchange money, whatever, making sure everything's registered and accounted for properly for international collections and things like that. But they're gonna, you know, maybe you get an 80-20. So you're giving up 20% to them to go do that, and you keep 80, but you're not giving up percentages of your copyright. So like, you know, with co-pub, you're giving up half of your copyright off rip. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, there's those options, but it's based on the leverage that you build you know,
because one's harder to get.
Yeah, well, it's not about harder to get.
I'm asking for the people. Is one, like, if you went into this scenario with your producers or as a producer, and you had a single coming, and you say, hey, I want to do admin instead of co-pub, are they gonna push back because co-pub is better for them?
It's not about being better. The thing is, what is going to happen, the conversation is going to change in terms of the amount of money. And so obviously with admin, they're getting something, but it's way less. Because co-pub, they're getting off rip is some way they're going to figure out 50%.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're going to figure out whether, if, you know, when I partner up, they take a piece of mine and they might take, you know, a piece of the producers, and we each equal up to the half or whatever the case. Or we find a way to give them
to build up the half.
Nonetheless, they get
build
half.
Up that 50.
They get
give
half.
them that 50. Yeah.
Admin. And so obviously they get more for that. So they're going to be like, all right, we could give you a bigger bag, but it's because we know we're getting a bigger return on our investment. Like we're getting more of whatever it is that we're collecting. With admin, they collect a lesser percentage. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of will determine how hard normally they'll go for you in terms of like bringing you other opportunities, like where you fit on the totem pole of like priority, you know. But again,
but honestly, when you do the 50, when you do the co-pub deal, you're giving up more because you're expecting them to bring something to the table. I mean, now does it ever, or have you ever seen it happen to where they don't bring? They just kind of got 50%, and now you're just still doing the same thing. Because they can't guarantee someone takes your music, I guess.
In my case, I'll be honest. In my case, I've been privileged to be in the game for so long that I have so many relationships already. So when I'm looking at my partner, I'm like looking for them to fill in some of the holes. Like I already have a certain amount of relationships. So they might hit me about something. I'm like, I know that person already personally. Yeah. I know that situation. So I'm looking for the other shit that maybe I don't have relationships with. You know what I'm saying? So it can be frustrating, but you have to kind of, you know, in our case, it's like what I've learned and what I've been, you know, kind of taking into account and having to like give them their grace on is like, they have so many people they deal with that they're having to, you know, take care of. You're not the only one. So it's like, you still are going to have to hit the concrete with your folks. You're going to have to hit the pavement with your folks and you know, make sure that the opportunity keeps coming in. They'll bring their opportunities. They'll put camps together. They'll put all these different things together. They'll help you with shopping, you know what I'm saying? And trying to bring you, you know, yo, such and such is looking. I know these people on their team or whatever the case, you know, but on a whole, I think it's just really about the amount of leverage that you have in terms of like, you know, what is it that you're bringing to the table? Like, what type of records are you bringing in? You know, are they seeing y'all go crazy? Where it's like, you know, you're keeping them motivated and inspired to be like, damn, man, like, you know what I'm saying? But on the, you know, just playing devil's advocate, like what I've been noticing and what I've seen from some of my peers, there's the big dogs, there's like the Warner Chappells, there's the Sony, and then there's the boutique vibes.
The boutique
like
publishers.
There's Pulse. There's like, you know, Ultra. There's
have you seen
Cobalt.
Have you seen or heard a difference in dealing with them?
So what
is there any insight you can get to that?
Yeah. So like basically the bigger dogs, they have insane rosters. So like if you look at like, you know, like Warner Chappell and Sony is like Coke and Pepsi. You know what I'm saying? So they have multiple shit they have to deal with. Like Coca-Cola is not just Coca-Cola. It's multiple brands under their umbrella, right? They buy brands, they acquire new shit. So they have all this shit attached to their brand, right? So they have so many different things to have to worry about with like how they're marketing all this shit, what they're putting a lot of their money into and things like that. You know, whatever's performing the most obviously is going to get more attention and more. The smaller brands like the Dr. Peppers have a little more, you know, like they're focused in on a very smaller, you know, like a much smaller.
So you may get more attention from them.
Yeah.
But they might not be able to push as big a button as Or they might be able to hit a bigger
They
button.
might be able to. See, that's the thing. It's like it's crazy, and it's really, you know, case by case. Not to confuse people, because, you know, somebody like Pulse, like Ashley Calhoun, when I hear her name, I never hear bad. I always hear her name ringing bells.
Mm-hmm.
She does all these big, you know, if you're up there and you're getting your shit off, she's cutting the check. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they're bringing a lot of opportunity. They're really working their clients. Prescription is where Friday did his pub deal. His A&R at Prescription is the one that instigated the Khaled play for God Did, which was the biggest shit, the biggest play that put him on that platform outside of everything else he had going on, that put him on the Grammy stage and things like that. That came from his publisher. Who knows if it was on the other side of it, you know what I mean? Like how that would have went down. So it's just really a case by case thing. And, you know, we get along really well with our partners. You know what I'm saying? Like they do their thing. We work well together. Like we bring a lot to the table. But it's interesting though, like, you know what I'm saying, to hear the different perspectives of how these different situations work for different folks. You know what I'm saying? So just, you know, just keep that in mind. Like when you're out here shopping, there's so many different ways you could go. But always follow your heart with it. You know, do what's best for you. Always make the decision best for you. You know what I'm saying? Like don't necessarily put all your eggs in one basket. Like if there's opportunities on the table and you feel like, yo, this dude's gonna go, you know, is gonna bring me the most opportunity, or these people, like I sat down with them, it felt like they understood it more. Their roster is fire. I want to get with, you know, these particular people. Like, you know, it's nothing wrong with the big dogs. Like I said, I got 3 guys in there, but just knowing that there are these different ways of doing it. You know what I mean? Like just keep that in mind. So that was a crazy tangent that we just went on, by the way.
No, but it was insightful though. It was insightful because I think one of the most confusing parts of the music industry is publishing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's also one of the biggest, most influential. Like it's one of the most life-changing. Like if you figure out the publishing game, you're probably doing good. You know what I'm saying? If you don't, then...
And by the way, all these people kind of play, you know, they understand the business side. A lot of these companies, you can, you know, for people like me and my business partner, Mom, we could take a play over here and take another play over here, and we could still, you know, it's still cool. Like we can, you know, work in a non-exclusive way and maneuver. Just everything would be case by case basis. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of these companies, even though they're, depending on what you're bringing, one person might want that want that writer more than the other. But depending on whatever move you make, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to slam the door in your face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, you do what's best for your client. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Do what's best for your client. For the producers and writers, do what's best, what you feel is best for you. What makes you feel like, yo, this is the best opportunity, it's the best route for me to take. You know, like you're not gonna, you know, unless you're just playing with people, like, and you just burning bridges, like, you know, stringing people along, and then you do them dirty, and you know, oh yeah, no, we locked in, and then you go in, which, you know,
happens.
Part of the game.
I was about to say it happens. It's definitely a big part.
So.
But yeah, that's the real. But no, I like touching on stuff like that, especially, you know what I mean, conversations with you. Because like I say, like I talked about it on previous episodes, to me, you've been an engineer, but you've also have always had an executive mindset while engineering. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's important for me to point out, because I want other engineers to understand that, and producers and whoever, that there's like, you can be an executive while you're still an engineer. Right. You already are working on being an executive, you know what I'm saying? And learning things about pub and what deals to take and finding producers and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So you being a person who's actually done that, you know what I mean? And walked that path, you know what I mean? It's always good to give insight to people about that type of shit, you know what I mean?
And I ain't gonna lie, man, I really appreciate the people that I've come across, that I've dealt with, that, you know, show me that respect. Because like I had said on a previous episode of, you know, my brother Miles Walker talks about it all the time, of when people meet you in a certain place, it's hard for them to erase that.
They don't let it out. They don't.
And I've actually been blessed with a lot of my peers and people that I've come up with that I've known for so long. respecting the journey and understanding like, yo, that ain't Cruz from interning and going and grabbing the food for all these artists. Like, this is a different.
Yeah, it's different. Like, respect me at each level.
Yeah, like they respect the progress.
So I'm gonna put the work in at each level. So
100%,
respect it.
100%. So definitely, you know, that's always like very helpful when people, you know what I'm saying, that have followed you, like respect you at each place.
Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, I see it all the time, man. I know, like I was telling you about my young boy. He was he came in as an intern, and he stayed down, and he actually ended up recording the Tyla on Water and won a Grammy for it.
Right.
But he kind of what's the word? He kind of stayed in that mode where it's like, we don't expect you to have a Grammy one day. We don't expect you, like, when are you gonna put yourself first? When are you gonna come out of this? When are you gonna do that? And he stayed down in that, and he found a way within it. But the people who were bringing him up never like would bring him up. You get what I'm saying? They just wanted him like, oh, you're still our assistant. Like, you could be recording, you could be tracking one day.
So they're not respecting
but
where
now
he's at with it.
but now you're assisting again tomorrow. And we need you to track John Legend, but then tomorrow we need you to assist on Hoobity Hoobla. You know what I'm saying? So, but he stayed down, he worked his way up, and now he became a Grammy winner. But within that infrastructure, he's still in the same spot. So next he's gonna have to leave, but he's leaving as a Grammy winning engineer. So when he goes to the next place, they'll respect that Grammy and they'll respect what he does, and then he'll get the high prices that he wants.
Yeah.
But the guys he's with, who he won the Grammy with, give it to him. That kind of goes on what you're saying. They see you the same way.
That's how shit happens sometimes, man. And it's just kind of, I mean, it is what it is. You know, you got to just deal with it. You know what I mean? And just,
you gotta find a way to beat it. I always say, beat it. Like, fuck dealing with it. For me, it's always been find a way to beat it. They putting it's a little way, it's something in front of you, just beat it. Like, there's a way to beat it, because we all got to beat little shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
nah, for sure. 100%.
I've been swatted down so many times trying to be a producer in the beginning of me engineering.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, for sure.
To get to be an engineer and working your own pub deals, working your own situations and all that, yo.
Yeah, man.
It's you know what I mean? You gotta stick with it.
Let's talk about it, man. Let's celebrate that, man. Like,
real shit.
You know, I'm loving that. Like, that's a big thing that I don't think we celebrated enough when we jumped back into season 2. Like, you in a good spot right now, my man.
Yeah, 3 number ones, core to mix, you know, and that goes to what I say about engineering. You know what I mean? Like, I record, mix, and add production to everything we do.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't ever send it to a mix engineer. Not to say that it couldn't help if I did, but not to say it couldn't hurt if I did. I mean, what if I send it to a mix engineer? He makes everybody shit his hits, but we send it there, and now they don't like this. And the fucked up part, they not gonna blame them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I look at this shit, man. I think you could do. I think anybody could do anything in this shit.
Yeah,
just depending on if it's in you.
Right.
That's just me though. You know what I'm saying? I think it's already in you. I think you being an exec, you being an A&R, you placing records and working with producers. I think that part was already in you. Just engineering might have been a doorway.
Hey, man.
You know what I mean?
We see it.
Man. We see it. We see it blossoming though.
You feel me? Let me call my man.
Yeah. You did say you had somebody you wanted to tap in.
Let me tap in with Nick. I'm gonna let Nick talk. Yo, real quick. So we got my brother Nick Paps on right now, right?
So what it do, Nick?
He in the gym with it. He in the gym. He getting right. He getting right for these records, man. He got a lot of hits on the way. Yo, Nick, just tell him a little bit about the journey, man. Like where we first met compared to where we at now, man. Like, you know, our relationship, how we been moving. You know, I've been managing Nick from 2016.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I don't even know where to start.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a long way. It's been.
Just give some of the highlights, man. Just give some of the highlights.
And I remember sleeping on the floor, like traveling days worth. I even played for like 16 hours. It came back, went right back to school.
Yeah. So we're doing all that. I got a question. Let's dive in, man. So we're doing all that. What? Because conversation we're having was about like you know, I was kind of giving Cruz his flowers on the low for being, you know what I mean, an executive while being an engineer and being a, you know what I mean, doing his thing, wearing both hats. But you being a producer, you trusted him at one point while he was an engineer to manage your career and manage his own engineering career at the same time. So, what made you trust him? And how was that process? That's kind of what we want to talk about.
I could just tell, like, based off the energy and like the way everything was being handled in the beginning, and the way I was traveling too. Like Cruz used to like give me the bed, and he was Lord, like that was
managers.
like,
listen up.
Like he cared about my career, and I didn't really have play like that in my life.
Yeah.
So it was huge for me, and then ever since, look how it played out. We've been working 16, making the biggest hits.
I just wanted to tap in, my brother. I appreciate you, man.
Good talking to you, man.
Good.
For sure.
All right, one. Shout out my brother Nick, man. He had a lot of good shit to say. I really
that was real shit.
It means a lot, man. You know, it's a lot of sacrifice going to this shit.
Yeah.
You know, for the greater good.
Yeah, we gotta chat with him longer one of these days.
Nah, we're gonna definitely tap in. I'm about to hit my brother Farsi.
Okay.
He got a lot of shit to talk about. He got some big records that he got, you know what I mean? One of the biggest records out of last year, one of my favorite records, Water. You know what I'm saying? What's up with my boy Farsi?
My different man with his haircut.
Ooh, fresh cut. You live on Hidden Hands, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
welcome.
Thank you. How y'all doing?
Yeah. Man, we over here chilling, man. I just wanted to tap in with a legend. I told him, you know, man, let's talk about this game a little bit, right?
Yeah.
You know, this is my brother right here. Like, this is like, it's very few family in the business, bro. And I met Farsi not even that long ago, probably like a couple years, but like, I ain't gonna lie, it's just certain people you just hit it
Click
off
with. Yeah,
you know what
one
I'm
of the type of people you know.
And this is a dude right here, bro. Like, man, in a short time, you know, we done really like, this is a guy right here I know for a fact. I touched down LAX. He's right there waiting.
Yeah, you got
know
it.
What I'm saying?
You hit him.
Like and we going right to the studio and we putting some work in, and you know, we got a record dropping at midnight together. Finally.
Yeah,
sir.
Yeah.
Finally.
I'm excited.
Come on, man. We just getting started, you know, but that was 2 years in the making, putting that shit together. That's just gonna drop, you know. But I remember conversations we had, Farsi, man, like, you know, and I definitely don't want to go too deep into detail, but like, just like, man, this game is
treacherous.
And not only that, it's really it's a testament to people that, you know, grind it out and go through the peaks and valleys and come out, you know, and dust their shoulders off, man. You know what I'm saying? And come out on top. Like, man, let's talk about this fucking Water record, bro. Like, you know, some of our conversations, you know, over the last couple of years are just like, man, we just churning, we're just getting some shit done. And, you know, shout out to my brother Jack for being, you know, extremely loyal to the soil, you know what I'm saying? And rocking with the squad and trusting the process. And, you know, congratulations, by the way, you know, for such a mega record. You know, it comes across my playlist.
How does that feel, man? How does it feel, man?
Hey, thank you. First of all, high praise coming from Cruz himself, the legend.
My brother.
Yeah, well, thanks you guys also for allowing me to speak.
For sure.
But yeah, you know, it's the music business is an interesting thing.
Yeah.
I feel like patience is the number one thing that I've learned in the last like 10, 15 years grinding.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's trying to make the inevitable happen overnight. But it's not going to work like that. You just got to pay your dues, put the time in. And amazing records like Water will come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know, like it's almost like a little sprinkle from the gods above.
For sure.
Just keep things moving, and also feed a new sound, or just keep the change going, so there's not
Yeah.
just the constant, like the radio just shouldn't sound the same all the time. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
always be telling Cruz, like, try to live day to day as like an ambassador for change,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's
So which
rhythmically, sonically, whatever it is, even on the business side too.
Yeah. No, he's definitely, trust me, one of them ones.
Yeah. So what it takes from what you're saying is because it sounds like you're kind of saying that the payoff could come differently in music. So it's like you did Water, but Water, the payout you get from the record Water is the payout from the accumulation of work you've been doing.
Yeah.
It ain't just
Right.
Water, like you just picked it up and just made Water. It's the accumulation of all the work that you've done to help move you forward and to that next moment.
Mm-hmm.
Being in this position where I've been lucky to attract amazing, talented musicians, producers, writers, and also just being in a position to have like an amazing facility to be able to house all this amazing talent, and having those perfect timing moments where everything's at the stars have aligned, and the right beat, the right drums over the right loop or whatever it is. It's just that perfect harmony inside the studio to create that foundation, which obviously led to the Water record is coming to life. But yeah, it's just an accumulation of just all of it. You know what I mean? Just paying close attention to detail, and also just trying to play every part of the ecosystem as best as possible. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, man, and this record, the way it came together, and the players, like I said, man, we've been locked in, and I've seen Jack, and I've seen kind of the way everything has kind of worked in terms of like him being down and being loyal and rocking and being locked in. He's in the studio every day. Every time I go tap in with you, an hour later, Jack's on the way, or he's already locked in. Like, he's super locked in. You guys are like, work really well together, and he understands the mission, and I think that's
100%.
important. Yeah.
I feel being a producer myself and an executive, depending on the time of the hour of the day, I've always had this advantage to being able to see the talent early, especially on the producer side. And man, this kid Jack Lamastro, something special about him.
Definitely.
And we could say that on and off the court.
Yeah.
Which plays a huge role. You know what I mean? Really referring to just off the court too. Just a great guy, great character.
Yeah.
And we always say that the game isn't a game, but it is a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So you got to know how to play it correctly.
Yeah. Got to know how to play it.
Yeah, exactly. And that balance of the whatever it is, hard work, loyalty, and just knowing how
you got to know yourself as a player.
Yeah, and just knowing how to operate in those moments, whether it's the last 2 minutes of the game or even the first quarter. You know what I'm saying? So guys like Jack have mastered Nick Paps. Shout out Nick too. You know what I'm saying? Just these guys are.
So I have a question. So with you dealing with the producers and being a producer yourself, and also wearing the hat as an executive, just to tap into a conversation me and Cruz were having the other day, are you? What's a good way to phrase this? Are you happy with where the young producers are taking the production game? And is there anything that you is there any advice that you? Is there anywhere that you would like to see it go?
Yeah, like be honest.
You don't gotta
be
be
nice.
Don't
be too nice.
Because here's the thing: I feel like I can answer this as a 40-year-old and as a 20-year-old.
Yes,
You know what I'm
yes.
saying? Like two different perspectives. So I would like to be careful and not to answer it as a 40-year-old producer. Who has some grays and. Shout out Dilla, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? And
absolutely. Legend.
I feel the only thing that I would say that the kids should pay attention to is just the musicianship of the
Thank
producer.
you.
If we're
Thank you.
specifically referring to like the producers,
Yeah.
obviously not the musicians or the writers, but the
Yeah,
actual
no, we're speaking
producers.
on the producers.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, just the
It's
producers.
just, yeah, like the idea of opening up your DAW, whether it's FL, Logic, whatever it is, and just opening up Splice and it's too easy now.
It's too easy.
Yeah,
I'm ready to produce, bro. Let's collab, Farsi. Let's put
it's too easy. And so those fundamentals, the basics of just understanding music theory, and just being extra saucy with it, I think has been overlooked and forgotten.
I think so too. And when that was my argument, that was my main argument. So you hit it on the head, and you were a little more classy than me because I was actually kind of in a real like passionate. You know, I was on my soapbox a little bit because the quality of music overall. I'm like, bro, where are your guys' head in this? Like, are you business oriented? You know, like how many records a day can I make? Can I make 100 beats a day and not caring about the quality and the musicianship, like you said, right? Like that's so critical.
100 beats a day with no melody or counter melody. It's just drums and a pad.
It's absolutely insane.
Aerial space.
Yeah,
nigga, gotta get the best rapper in the world to rap on it.
So
it can sound great.
We don't even do bridges anymore.
What?
On records
at all? Barely hooks out here. People just rapping.
And the crazy part about it is it goes into musicianship, like you said, because a lot of times in the bridges, it could be a key change or something could come. But when you get there, you lose them.
Yes. You can't even talk that lingo.
You lose them.
Let's change the key. Huh?
Yeah, let's do a key change at the bridge and bring it down so that they could sing it, softer and connect with the people differently. You know what I'm saying? Let's say we make a request like that. Like they sung the rest of the song in this octave, but we're going to bring the key down so that they can sing the bridge at this part and we feel it this way. Man, you be there all day.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. Get Farsi on the phone. Let's figure this out.
You know? But yeah, I just want to touch on production, man. I don't want to sound like the old head, so I had to bring you in on it too. Sorry.
No, easy. We love talking about this shit.
Yeah, for
straight
sure.
up.
But
Cruz is right too, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah. Like the biggest thing, you know, I wanted to bring you in just to like, you know, let you know we appreciate you, man. Like you know, I've learned a lot from you over the last couple of years. You know, we've been tapped in.
Likewise.
What you built with the squad, you know, is you know, I really admire. I really you know, I love what you guys are building, what you guys have built over the years, the way that you are being disruptive and you know, things that we won't necessarily get into, but love the way you guys approach this business and, you know, really look out for the squad and look out for, you know, the smarter way to do this shit. Because there's, you know, one of the things I talked about today was all the different structures and deals and admin and co-pub and who to go with. And, you know, there's so many different options, you know what I'm saying? And it can be overwhelming, but just trying to give little game, bro, like, you know, and educate people because a lot of people talk a lot of stupid shit all day on this internet. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So why not bring some truth to it? Why not bring like, this is what we're actively doing. You know, we're in this shit. You know what I mean? And, you know, appreciate you being available for us, bro.
Hey,
I know you got a big night.
Yeah.
You got a big night.
Likewise. We're about to celebrate tonight.
Let's go. Well,
waiting
shit, tap in with me, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Of course.
You know, congrats on everything.
I'm here anytime for the call.
Let's do it.
Right. Thank you,
brother.
Of course. God is the greatest, y'all. Shout out.
Yes, sir. Love, man.
Peace.
Yo, man, shout out to the homie Farsi and Nick for tapping in with us today, man. Hopefully y'all got some game from this. You know what I'm saying?
Peace.
Yo, peace.
Checking in.
Hands. Salute.